Welcome to our Monday, April 10, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, government to examine opportunities for value-added lumber in Region 10, Health Minister speaks on visit to Diamond Hospital, and the Guyana Police Force is working to assist persons transacting large monetary transactions. Stay tuned for these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. The Ministry of Natural Resources will examine the creation of a sawmill to assist loggers in Region 10 to add value to their product. Details from Zanil Williams.
Residents of Kokwani and Aichuni are calling for assistance from the Ministry of Natural Resources to promote value-added logging. The request was made during a recent visit by the Minister of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman, to the logging communities. In Kokwani, residents asked for the revision of tax on logs. There was a suggestion of a sawmill to add value to the logs as a means of having taxes reduced.
I think, and I believe, and most persons will agree with me, that we need to start doing some more value-added to our forestry products.
Minister Trotman says the suggestion will be examined.
The idea of maybe a community sawmill or plane is not a bad one. It is something that government will explore as an incentive, because we are taxing you at 40%, we should be giving back something to compensate for that.
Over in Aichuni, members of the Logging Association asked for support to boost trading of value-added products.
It would impact the community so much that persons won't be underselling their produce to outside buyers.
The Ministry of Natural Resources has been reviewing policies in the forestry sector with the aim of promoting value-added production of lumber. Zanil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
In this report, we hear from Tiffany Rodias how the Ministry of Public Health has been addressing many of the issues that were raised when the Parliamentary Sectoral Committee on Social Services visited the Diamond Hospital.
Minister of Public Health Valda Lawrence says new equipment for the Diamond Hospital has been purchased, but installation has to wait the completion of electrical works being carried out at present. The minister says extension works are also taking place, and this is having an impact on the delivery of services.
Instead of doing piece, they were going to review the panel and all of that. So many of the things that is mentioned in the newspaper have already been addressed, either via the budget or via the report and the discussions which we have had. The machines that they spoke about, they're already purchased, but we're waiting for the electrical work to be done.
Lawrence says that the ministry has been working with regional officials to ensure the Diamond Hospital is equipped to provide the best healthcare service to those in need.
In January of this year, upon assuming office, I visited the Diamond Hospital, myself and a team, and we put together a report of all the issues that there was. We followed up that with a meeting between the Director of Regional Health Services, the Chairman of Region 4, the REO of Region 4, and the Regional Health Officer of Region 4. And we shared our findings with them. And so they had a list of things which we were able to identify that were in the budget.
The Diamond Diagnostic Center is recognized as a regional hospital in Region 4. It caters for thousands of patients on a daily basis. The sectoral committee is in the process of visiting healthcare facilities across Guyana to ascertain the state of services being offered to the general public. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The Guyana Police Force is offering to assist persons who have to conduct monetary transactions involving large sums of money. Zanil Williams tells us more.
Commander for A Division, Clifton Hicken, has indicated that the division has recorded a 19.2% decrease in serious crimes for the first quarter of 2017. However, the commander is urging members of the public to be more cautious when transporting large sums of money.
You cannot set a pattern and make yourself vulnerable. So while we know it's a cash flow economy, we are advocating that, people, if you're drawing large sums of money to conduct business, you have adequate security. If not, use plastic so that, you can be less vulnerable in society.
According to the commander, A Division has had patrols present in bank zones so as to reduce criminal activities. Hicken also notes that they have been collaborating with private security firms to help stem criminal activity. He says it is very important for members of the public to be security conscious.
We've opened to calls. We know we have patrol sector in zone or sectors. People doing this type of businesses, if they alert us very early, we will have a policy in place to ensure that the security is at hand. First of all, we've realized a posture too, or an atmosphere where people from the private security partner and they network with each other, so they can help to stem some of this activity too. And very, very importantly, members of the public, they need to be, self-preservation is nature's first law. They need to be security conscious. With this type of integration, we have the capacity to develop as a team, not just the Guyana Police Force in isolation, but as a team. And if every and Sanji come on board with us, I think we'll have a Guyana we're looking for.
This effort by the Guyana Police Force is to further aid efforts to halt bank robberies and money crimes. Zinil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
The Ministerial Task Force of the Ministry of Public Security has heightened its sensitization campaign on the reduction of trafficking in persons. Gabriela Patram reports.
The Ministerial Task Force on Trafficking in Persons conducted awareness and sensitization activities in Region 2, Pomerun, Suriname. The team visited a number of schools and indigenous communities. Schools that were visited include 8th of May Secondary, Johanna Cecilia, and Aurora Secondary Schools. Task Coordinator Acting Oliver Prophet says that teachers and students of the schools that were visited received tips on how to identify a tip victim, and prevention tips were also given.
We did explain to them what is trafficking in person itself, definition, the elements of it, the act, the means, the purpose, how can victims be identified, how do traffickers control their victims, and what we have in place to help victims. Also, obviously, we actually give them a charge, basically, as students, to look out, be on the lookout, learn more about trafficking in persons, keep reading, be observant, look out, share information with others, and also to call the authorities if they see anything looking suspicious.
Headmistress of the 8th of May Secondary School, Chan Ratri Singh, says that the session in her school was very timely. She notes that based on the information that was shared, she knows that some of her students need help.
Being here since September to now, I think this is the very first session we had with the officials from the social security sector. And I think this session that was held this morning, I think it's very, very enlightening to our students. Many of our teachers also, those teachers who are not really aware of what human trafficking is all about and some of the symptoms and so on, I think they are educated also. And I would recommend that these officials make regular visits, especially to our school, because many of our students, I think, I'm not certain, but I think there are some of our students who may be involved, because looking at our dropout rate, many of our students drop out from school at grade 9, grade 8. And, it leaves one to think, where are these students going?
The Ministerial Task Force visited the indigenous villages of Kapui and Wayaka. Prophet notes that young people in those villages were aware of what TIP is, and with the information that was shared by the task force, persons are now equipped to better protect themselves. Additionally, the task force participated in the Essequibo Agro Trade Expo. Prophet says that even though it was an agro expo, TIP is a big business and can take place in any sector. Prophet tells us how the response was to the task force participation.
A lot of persons are here interested in the stuff we had to give away. We didn't just give away stuff because obviously that defeats the purpose. We want to share information. So we had asked them some questions. We got to know their knowledge, and also we got to impart some knowledge to them. We learn from them. We understand that there are some fears here and it might be happening, so we will endeavor to make future visits here as well.
The unit will continue to work with its partners, including the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, and the Guyana Women Miners Association to conduct outreaches in the various regions. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
Contractors in Region 2 can now make informed decisions when procuring contracts thanks to a procurement and project implementation community workshop. Details in this report. The workshop is the second of 10 to be undertaken by the Ministry of Communities. Special Projects Officer at the Ministry, Naeem Khan, says the aim of the workshop is to strengthen the procurement system by making contractors more responsive and have more small contractors on board.
That a lot of contractors do not know how to prepare a proper tender document. And in that sense, they have been seen non-responsive. And a lot of them do not get job because they've been non-responsive and they do not go on to the next section. And what happens is that we've seen, because of that, the lack of knowledge by small contractors. The bigger contractor takes advantage of that, and they get more of the product because they are well equipped or they know about the procurement process. And the small contractors are basically pushed aside. So that is one of the major problems that we've seen.
Procurement Manager, Ministry of Communities, Michael Blackman, says some contractors often believe they are treated unfairly and are hesitant to participate in the procurement process of contracts.
In some cases where the lowest bidder might think that he's entitled to the contract, when it's not the lowest bidder, but it's the lowest responsive bidder. So not because your bid came in $10 lower than mine, means that you will automatically get a contract. You need to satisfy the evaluation criteria first before you can be considered a responsive bidder.
Dudnot, who has been a contractor for years, says the workshop has been very informative for him. Dudnot notes that he is better able to make wise choices when completing projects.
Well, the workshop was good because at least I didn't contract for quite a while, and the new things, if I didn't know and get aware of them, they would affect me. So still that I come and I get to know, I would be able to gear up for it.
In the coming months, the Ministry of Communities, with support from the regional administrations, will conduct the other workshops in other regions. The National Grade 6 Assessment will be written on Wednesday, April 12 and Thursday, April 13. The Ministry is reminding the boys and girls of Grade 6 to do your very best. Be prepared with your pencils, eraser, ruler, sharpener, and timetable. You are urged to read carefully, study all pictures, diagrams, charts, maps, tables, and graphs well before answering the questions. Read all of the choices before selecting your answer. Answer all the multiple choice questions, choosing only one answer. Answer only 4 questions in paper 2. Choose a topic that you know most about for your composition. Check over your work when you have finished. Think, and think. Be sure to arrive early at your examination center. The Government Information Agency takes this opportunity to wish you all the best on your assessments. This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.